If I don't fix my bed, I might actually lose my mind. I've been sleeping pretty poorly in my van. If you've had a bad night's sleep, you know how much that sticks with you the next day. Over the days and weeks, it can really start to add up. So I'm making a change. Vanlife is all about adjustments and fine-tuning, so here we go doing some more. Originally when I built this van, I put a king-size bed in here, but after about a year or so, I decided that was really impractical, and so I cut 12 square feet out of it. Now my bed feels a little bit too small. I'm 6'1", and sleeping side to side across my van offers me 6'2" of horizontal space. Add a pillow into the equation, and I really don't have that much room to sprawl out. So I came up with a solution. I'm going to remove my side panels here next to my bed, and that would give me an extra 2 inches or so of space on either side. Or so I thought. I would sacrifice the insulation that was in there, and it might look a little bit uglier, but it was a small price to pay for a better night's sleep. So I had to remove some pieces to access these 1/4 inch panels, but when I did, I realized something terrible. By removing these side panels, I was only going to be granted another inch or so of space on either side. Plus the loss of insulation, plus the ugly factor, this project was seeming more and more hopeless. The only solution I saw for myself was to put things back together and leave it be. But then I had another idea. Why do I have these stupid corner panels? I originally installed them there for appearance, but all they really do is make sleeping more awkward and uncomfortable. They make it almost impossible to sleep corner to corner, which gives me a lot more space than just sleeping horizontal. Maybe I can just rip these out and that'll make a big difference. My new mission: rip out pointless corner panels and replace with something more simple. It's not necessarily the prettiest solution, but it works. I thought about running a metal screw through the board here to hold it a little bit more firmly in place, but I also like the idea of keeping it flexible, like Bruce Lee says, be like water. After removing the vertical beam, I was left with this little gap here, and I wasn't quite sure how to approach it. Okay, so this is just a literal random piece of wood that I have laying around, and I think I'm gonna place it under here as a sort of wedge. And so right now when I push this in here, I don't know if it'll show on the camera, you guys can see this gap right here, and let me get it under here. And so you can see this gap right here. If I want to connect this board to here, there's this big gap, but if I were to connect this to the back of this, and then I would connect that to this, you see it kind of fills that gap and gives this board a mounting plate over on this side. I don't want it like completely rigid where it won't move at all. Like I like having some movement in here, some flex. This out. I have these cabinets and they're locked onto this post, and the screws that I need to remove are up under this post here. So my only option is to kind of just cut this board here. you jerk. That's what I'm talking about. Bam, bam, thank you, my man. And again, the journey of updating the van is never really over. At least I don't think it's over that quickly on your first van build. There's too much that like you decide you want to change and whatnot. And this screw's not even in here. What in the world? Okay, so I've got this big awkward piece here, and I've got these wires to contend with now. So I've got to shut my electricity off, shut the power off, and deal with that now. This is the master powers. So this right here is the USB. That's what we're gonna undo here. So second one down. Look at this guy coming out. I actually never even used this USB port because I installed it, and then I installed the mattress was taller than I thought, and I could never, it just covered up the USB port and I could never get access to it anyway, so it's kind of just been sitting there for no reason. It's another project that I spent probably a couple hours on, and for no real reason because I didn't really end up ever using it. So again, that's another sort of thing where if I were to redo my van build, I know better than to spend my time on something of that sort. And now I just also need to get this negative out of here, which the negative or the grounding cable is going to be fortunately buried under these.
It wasn't the original solution I sought out, but after removing these corner panels, I really think it makes a big difference in the quality of my bed. Already I'm sleeping so much better. Who knows what I'll change next time? Let me know if you guys have any suggestions. Until then, bye bye.